Deep in the forest, a retired firefighter named Michael had chosen to spend his days in tranquility, surrounded by the beauty of nature. After years of serving his community, he sought peace and a connection with the wilderness. One sunny afternoon, as he wandered through a secluded trail, he encountered a sight that would change his life forever: a distressed deer, its leg trapped in a cruel snare. Michael's heart ached at the sight. He knew the dangers of approaching a wild animal, especially one in distress, but he couldn't just walk away. With every step he took towards the deer, he whispered calming words, hoping to ease its panic. The deer, with wide, frightened eyes, watched his every move, its breaths rapid and shallow. As Michael got closer, he noticed the severity of the deer's injury. The snare had cut deep into its leg, and the deer was struggling to stay upright. Michael's training as a firefighter had taught him to remain calm under pressure, and he knew he needed to act quickly to free the animal before it caused further harm to itself. With steady hands, Michael carefully approached the snare, speaking softly to the deer all the while. Using a small knife he always carried, he began to work on the snare, meticulously cutting through the tough wire. The deer flinched occasionally but seemed to understand that Michael was there to help. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the snare loosened and the deer was free. The deer took a hesitant step, then another, testing its newly freed leg. Michael watched with bated breath, ready to assist if needed. To his relief, the deer managed to stand, albeit shakily. It looked back at Michael with a mixture of gratitude and curiosity, a silent acknowledgement of the help it had received. As the deer slowly limped away, Michael noticed something unusual. It wasn't heading deeper into the forest, but rather towards a nearby stream. Curious, he followed at a respectful distance. The deer seemed to have a destination in mind, its steps becoming more purposeful despite the pain it was clearly in. Michael's curiosity grew with each passing moment. As they approached the stream, Michael saw the reason for the deer's determined path. There, lying helplessly by the water's edge, was a fawn, barely a few weeks old. It was clear that the mother deer had been trying to get back to her baby when she got caught in the snare. Michael's heart swelled with compassion as he realized the urgency of the situation. The mother deer nudged her fawn gently, encouraging it to stand. The fawn struggled, its legs wobbly and weak. Michael knew he couldn't just leave them there, the fawn needed help too. He approached slowly, making sure not to startle them. Speaking in soothing tones, he carefully examined the fawn, looking for any signs of injury or distress. If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like the channel and turn on notifications. Fortunately, the fawn appeared to be unharmed, just exhausted and frightened. Michael gently picked it up, cradling the small creature in his arms. The mother deer watched closely, her eyes full of trust and concern. Michael knew he needed to get them both to a safer place where they could rest and recover without further danger. Carrying the fawn, Michael led the way back through the forest, the mother deer following closely. He knew of a small clearing not far from his cabin where they could stay temporarily. As they walked, he spoke softly to both the mother and her baby, hoping to keep them calm. The journey was slow, but eventually, they reached the clearing bathed in the soft light of the setting sun. Michael gently laid the fawn down on a soft bed of grass and checked on the mother deer's wound again. It was still bleeding, though less profusely now. He knew he had to act quickly to prevent infection. Using a first aid kit he kept for emergencies, Michael carefully cleaned and bandaged the wound, all the while murmuring comforting words to the anxious mother. With the mother deer's wound tended to and the fawn resting peacefully, Michael sat back and observed the pair. The bond between the mother and her baby was heartwarming, and he felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing he had helped them. The forest around them was coming alive with the sounds of evening, creating a serene backdrop for this moment of quiet triumph. As night fell, Michael decided to stay nearby to ensure the deer's safety. He built a small fire to keep warm and kept a watchful eye on the clearing. Throughout the night, he could hear the soft murmurs of the mother deer comforting her fawn. It was a reminder of the resilience and strength found in the natural world. By morning, the mother deer seemed more at ease, and the fawn was full of energy, playfully exploring the clearing. Michael knew it was time to let them return to their natural habitat. He watched as the mother deer nuzzled her baby, as if to reassure it. With a gentle wave, Michael bid them farewell, feeling a sense of hope and accomplishment. As the deer disappeared into the forest, Michael felt a profound connection to the natural world. He realized that his actions had not only saved 2 lives, but also reaffirmed his purpose. The experience left him with a deep appreciation for the delicate balance of nature and the important role humans can play in preserving it. Days turned into weeks, and Michael often found himself thinking about the deer and her fawn. He continued his routine of exploring the forest, always keeping an eye out for any signs of them. One afternoon, while sitting by the same stream, he heard a familiar rustle in the bushes. To his amazement, the mother deer and her fawn emerged, healthy and strong. The sight of the deer and her fawn filled Michael with joy. It was as if they had come back to thank him. The mother deer approached him cautiously, and for a brief moment, their eyes met. Michael felt an unspoken bond between them, a shared understanding of the kindness and care that had brought them together. Michael sat quietly, allowing the deer to feel safe in his presence. The fawn, now more confident and curious, ventured closer to him, sniffing at his clothes. Michael chuckled softly, extending his hand gently. The fawn nuzzled it, a gesture of trust that touched Michael deeply. He realized that the bonds we form with nature can be incredibly profound. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the forest, Michael knew it was time for the deer to return to their natural lives. He stood up slowly, not wanting to startle them, and watched as the mother deer guided her fawn back into the woods. The sight filled him with a sense of fulfillment, knowing he had made a lasting impact on their lives. As Michael walked back to his cabin, a feeling of contentment washed over him. He knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he would always find solace and purpose in the company of animals. With a grateful heart, he whispered a silent thank you to the universe for guiding him to this path of compassion and connection. And as the stars twinkled overhead, he felt a profound sense of belonging, knowing that he was exactly where he was meant to be. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and stay tuned for more amazing stories like this one. See you next time.